long time no see. I'm trying to force myself to make a video. Yeah, this is gonna be great. This is one of the longest time lapses I've ever done. I think overall it's like 3 or 4 weeks put into this project. Well, with a lot of breaks in between, but it's still 3 to 4 weeks. It's a lot. And after a while, I just kind of lost motivation for it. But there was a purpose. So the whole point of this was, there's this competition by Huion. It's called The World is in Your Hands. I won't go into too much detail about it. The due date for the illustration was the 14th of December 2022. And as of recording this, it is the 14th of December 2022. Which means I was doing this right up until the deadline. Granted, there was like a 3-month window to make this project. But generally I got kind of lazy. I've had a lot of like university stuff to do, which sucks. Let me complain about my university before I go into a tangent about what this project is. I am studying mechanical engineering. Mechanical engineering makes me want to die. I generally don't think it's the point of the subject. I think it's like the way that my university teaches mechanical engineering. I'm in second year, so I don't know a lot about it, but I know enough about it. And it's just this like, I have 9 subjects, and it's just this daily slog as I just go through these subjects every week, and nothing interesting happens. So I've been studying this for like 3 months continuously. It's term 1. And the only thing we've had to do is this thing called the Dynamics Lab. In the Dynamics Lab, we literally measured the vibration of a little bar on a steel shaft as it went up and down. And then I had a week to write a lab report for that, which is incredibly boring. And that's the most memorable thing. The other thing I had to do was like, I'm going to design a toy car powered by a small CO2 gas canister. That looks so fun. But in my group, we had this one guy who thought he was the king of the world and did the entire project by himself. Like 90% of the design of the car, 90% of the design of the report, 70% of the manufacturing, all done by him. Because he thinks he's so amazing that only he could do it, and relying on anybody else in the group is wrong. So I try to like contribute because I'm a bit better in time management, so I did my work first. And he would just like shit on my work, and it's not like his work is much better. When I see his work, I also I civilly shit on his work. But this guy's a piece of shit. Anyway, so that's why I haven't worked on this project. So what is this project? So I was sitting in class one day, and I saw an Instagram post of somebody I used to know. Anyway, she looks really pretty. So then I just like, sketched it up. Okay, so like some key details I wanted to add was, there's this earpiece that I saw on Instagram, which is like, you take Gundam parts and then put it together. I just thought it looked so good. I really like the idea of like girls with pink hair. Not in real life, I think it looks terrible in real life, but when it comes to manga and anime, I think pink hair looks really pretty. Then we also got a little ribbon in the hair. You can't even see it, but there's a little ribbon in the hair. There's so much details in this thing by the end of it, when you come to it. Ooh, I have it here. This is a boiler suit. It's like a full-length one piece that we wear so that when we go into manufacturing, we don't cut ourselves. I wanted to integrate this, so I made it white instead because I think this red is... Generally, it's not that bad of looking. It's just that I give it pink hair, so if I give it a maroon boiler suit, it'll just be monotone and too much of one color, especially something like this, where skin is a bit pinkish. It'll just be too much red, essentially. Yeah, it's really hard to match pink hair with normal people's skin because I always make it a bit pink, brown, pinkish tones, and red hair literally is the same color, so it just makes everything super red. Anyway, the first part of that project, where I drew the body and then colored it in, took me like 4 days. It's not too bad. Then I started working on the background. I made this big sketch, and then it took me forever to complete it. I really don't like working on backgrounds because when you detail buildings like this, there's just so many small like lights and colors and little details you have to add, and I'm really bad at it, especially when it comes to these 3D shapes. I normally draw everything freehand. I use Clip Studio Paint, and for some reason I am too stubborn to learn how to use Clip Studio Paint. So I use 3 brushes, 1 pen, 1 pencil, and 1 watercolor. I do everything with just that. When I was doing this project, I was just really thinking like, am I going to finish it? I knew I was going to finish this because it's good enough where when I came back to it, I still wanted to do it, but at the same time, I literally could not motivate myself to do it. So what I did instead was I joined like a art competition for my university. I'm in Pokemon Society. I love Pokemon, if you can't tell. And I joined this art competition. I just spend my time doing that instead. Yeah, I mean, like, it's only 5 hours. But I'm a uni student. I'm doing like exams right now. I've got an exam tomorrow. I've got exams yesterday. I really shouldn't be doing this. Anyway, so I joined the art competition and I won a free Mimikyu plushie. So in 2 hours, I'm going to go and pick that up. It's great. I love it. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, this project. I try to do a lot with the lighting. When I don't normally do this full-scale HD stuff because you have to do a background, and I absolutely hate doing backgrounds. Because one thing that's really important about backgrounds is knowing your lighting. When you first start, you got to understand that there's going to be a lighting, so you got to define that before even knowing what you're going to draw. And then draw in your lighting. Then when you do the background, you got to draw even more lighting, because there's atmospheric lighting, and there's lighting where things reflect off each other, and there's shadows, and if you don't do any of this stuff, it looks like shit. But like, I don't have the brain power to do this stuff, so it took me a long time. Same with dimensions. You can probably see that it took me a while to figure out like how to draw the straight bar, because technically things curve when you use like a fisheye lens. Do I want to use a fisheye lens? How does everything bend when you go into the background? Does it bend this way? Does it bend this way? I generally don't know. I really need more practice in art. I've been cooking for myself a lot lately. That doesn't really mean much, but... Okay, so I'm living in London now. You know, London. City of London. Centre of England. Just because of my university. And I do not particularly like it. Everything here is super expensive. Like, if I want to grab a meal, it's £10 to get a meal. And if I want to cook, it's like £3. And from where I'm from, that's a lot of money. Just like £3, you can buy a full meal from where I'm from. And £10 is like God's meal if I ate it where I'm from. So the price of everything in London is kind of getting to my brain. Pew! It's not too bad, to be honest. Like, my parents give me enough budget, but it's a lot of money. London's really loud. I ride to school back. Oh, fuck. Why am I talking about how much London costs? It snowed in London yesterday, 2 days ago. And it was so cool. I love that. I think, so I had an exam the next day, obviously, because I'm talking about exams now. But I think on the night before the first exam, it was snowing. So instead of studying, I took a run. And it's like a completely spontaneous run. So I was in my jeans, like a t-shirt, without a belt. So when I would run, my pants would slowly fall off because I didn't have a belt on. And this was like when snow was first coming down. So I didn't really settle. Yeah, there was really thin layer everywhere. So when I see a bit of snow, I would like try to kick it and draw some words in the snow. And then after a while, the snow started settling. I was out there for like an hour, just in my jeans without a belt. It was really annoying. Every time I walked, my pants would fall off. Then I had gloves, so I would like gather up the snow, throw some snowballs. But I was by myself because London's really big and whatever, it doesn't matter. And the next day it snowed again. So after my first exam, I literally just got out the exam. Instead of studying, because I had another exam that day, I went to Hyde Park, which is like the biggest park in London. And I walked around for like 30 minutes, just gathering up snow and throwing it at stuff. I tried to throw some snowballs at a bird. And there was this girl who was like, no, don't throw snow at the bird. And then I expertly lied and said, no, I'm trying to hit the tree. I just missed the tree, which is what I do normally anyway. I love snow, if you can't tell. In London, it snows like 1 or 2 times a year. Not even. Maybe like 3 days in total over the year. And that's if you're lucky. Everyone hates snow. They're like, oh, it's going to turn to slush or it gets wet and melt and blah. But I love snow. I don't have to worry about that stuff. I can walk because I'm a strong man. I don't have a car, so I don't have to scrape snow off or anything. I love snow. It's not so cool. I'm so happy it's snowing because it's just like, it's been kind of not shit. I've had shit at times in my life. It's not been great for the last 2-3 months. And then when I saw the snow, I felt like a child again, running around playing in the snow. Maybe that's how I managed to finish this video. I should have made this entire project about snow. I don't know, maybe I'll do that over the winter. I'm kind of busy over winter. I don't know, I don't really like this format, but I don't really have the time to think about like a proper video. So I'm just gonna mush together whatever I got. Planning on doing like just like starting something from scratch, not very difficult. Just telling you how I actually do it, because it's quite interesting. I think I'm not very good at art, but compared to someone who's never done it before, I think I have many lessons which I could teach. Well, not really lessons. I never had formal training in what I do. It's just things you pick up over some time. I'll go do that, and if you can, stick around for that kind of video, I guess.